The other day we got a comment here on our YouTube channel, and it basically went like this. You have lots of great advice on what to look for and how to purchase over-the-counter hearing aids, but what are some of the most common mistakes that people make when they're trying to find the right pair of hearing aids for their needs, trying to understand their own hearing loss? What are some of the big mistakes that folks make? I thought that was an interesting question and deserved a dedicated video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 most common mistakes that we see folks make as they're trying to navigate, especially a first-time hearing aid purchase. If you're early on in your research and trying to figure out which way is up in the hearing health landscape, and maybe you're considering over-the-counter hearing aids that you purchase online and have shipped to your home, this video is going to be very helpful to you. If we haven't yet met, my name is Blake Cadwell. I'm a hearing aid wearer. I've spent time in over 50 different hearing aids over the last year. I'm also the co-founder at Soundly.com. We're one of the leading destinations for hearing health research and shopping in the United States. If you like what you see in this video, we'd appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to drop your comments below. I try to read all of them and will respond as quickly as I can. With that, let's dig in. Since launching Soundly.com, we've had about 5 million people spend time with us on the site, researching, trying to figure out which products are the right fit for them, testing their hearing, ultimately purchasing products, and then going through all of the steps that it takes to actually get used to hearing aids and become a successful hearing aid wearer. This is also a process I've gone through myself as a hearing aid wearer, and I've gone through on an individual level with different products as I've tried different brands and models available on the market. So all of that experience certainly colors the content that we put out on this channel and what you find over at Soundly.com. But we've never done a dedicated video on the most common mistakes that we see made in this category. And so that's this video. For simplicity's sake, I've really narrowed it down to 3 common mistakes that we see, especially for folks who are considering over-the-counter hearing aids. The first, and maybe the most important, is not taking the time to understand your own hearing loss. Now, I'm an interesting example of this. I've had hereditary hearing loss my whole life. My mom and my brother both wear hearing aids and have for decades, but I never actually went in and got a hearing test until 2020 when people all around me put on masks and I was unable to read lips anymore. That was really my breaking point that sent me into research mode and ultimately got me into my first pair of hearing aids. Now, I knew I had hearing loss. I knew I was turning up the TV volume. I was missing things in the other room. I was avoiding neighbors on the street, especially when they were wearing masks, but I wasn't exactly sure what was going on with my hearing. Ultimately, a test gave me a clearer sense not only of the severity of my hearing loss, but also the shape. And that's really important information to know as you're actually shopping for hearing aids. So my recommendation to anyone watching, if you're in research mode, is take a few minutes, even pause this video, head over to Soundly.com, take our free hearing test if you haven't taken a hearing test already. It will give you a chart that will show you the severity of your hearing loss and the shape of your hearing loss. Specifically, it'll also help you understand if you're a good candidate for over-the-counter hearing aids or if you need to go into a local clinic. Now, this is important because when the FDA made over-the-counter hearing aids available in the United States in 2022, they actually set some volume caps. So over-the-counter hearing aids can only go so loud. And those caps are meant to treat mild to moderate hearing loss and not severe and profound hearing loss. There are a few different reasons for this, but one of them is simply safety. OTC hearing aids should be safe for all people and not dangerous if you put them in your ears at a really loud volume. So it's very tempting to just press on with your research, find a model or a brand that you believe in, and simply check out. We definitely see folks do this at Soundly.com, but typically our recommendation is to slow down for a moment, take an online test, get a sense for your hearing loss. If you need a second opinion, you can fill out a little form that comes after our hearing test, and our team can actually talk through your results with you. Ultimately, this will help you understand if OTC is a good fit, if you need to go into a local clinic, and perhaps get some insights on even which models and brands might be the best fit for your situation. So number 1, don't skip the hearing test. The second mistake that we often see among our customers, and I experience this as well, is around expectation setting and planning for an adjustment period. So if you're not wearing hearing aids today and you're researching and figuring out which devices will fit you best, eventually you're going to put those hearing aids in your ears. And what you'll find is that the world suddenly gets very loud. I remember the first day I put on hearing aids, I walked outside, there was a helicopter flying overhead, and I actually ducked. I ducked down to the ground because I thought it was so close to me. And many folks describe this experience. They talk about the sound of their hands rubbing together or their hands on their jeans, paper shuffling. They'll realize they're hearing the hum of the refrigerator. And while all of this is really good and can increase your clarity and your confidence in conversations, it can also feel somewhat overwhelming. So in some cases, we'll have customers come to us and they'll say, I want to get a new pair of hearing aids for a big party that I have next week. Our answer to them is typically that yes, they probably need hearing aids, but that party might come well before they're actually adjusted to wearing hearing aids fully. Usually we see that process takes at least a few weeks for folks to become really comfortable wearing their devices for hours on end. That's just an acclimation process for your brain to get used to all this new sound that's coming into your ears. Additionally, you'll want to budget some time to actually set up the devices and play around with them. If you look at a product like Sony CREC20, which is our best-selling invisible hearing aid, there's a lot of tinkering you can do within the app to get your sound quality just how you like it. Now, there's a test up front that programs the hearing aids initially, but many people want to spend some time going back and forth and trying different settings to see what fits their particular sound tastes. Now, additionally, you can also budget some time to get on a phone call with one of our audiologists. This is included in every purchase at Soundly.com, whether it's our most affordable product all the way up to our really high-end premium OTC products. In each case, you get a complimentary call with an audiologist who can help walk you through some of the customizations, the fit in your ears, and make sure you're adjusting properly. So that's number two. Give yourself some time, give yourself some space, plan to wear your devices for a few hours a day and slowly work up to all day wear. That certainly was my experience. I had to start at an hour, 2 hours, and then I slowly added maybe 30 minutes or an hour each day until I was wearing my devices for full days at a time. The final mistake we see folks make is actually in just brand and product selection. Now at Soundly.com, we have a pretty narrow selection of brands and products that we actually carry. And the reason for that is that there are many, many hearing aids on the market, but many of them we don't feel pass a real quality test. They're not products that I would wear for more than an hour or two, and they don't often provide as much benefit as we'd like. So we've curated a list of products that we think really do work and really deliver on quality and also come from trustworthy brands. But still, a lot of folks will see brands advertised on TV or online, or maybe they'll find something on Amazon. Oftentimes it's less expensive, maybe just $100 or $200, or in some cases the brand is not less expensive and is several $100s, but it simply doesn't come from a brand that has a lot of experience in managing the nuances that are a part of the hearing health landscape. In our case, our two favorite products come from the largest manufacturers in the world. So Sennheiser All Day Clear is our current bestseller. That comes from Sonova, which is the world's largest maker of hearing aids, including in-clinic brands. And Sony CREC20 is made by WS Audiology, which is in the top 5 largest manufacturers in the world, and also makes Signia and Widex hearing aids that you find at a local clinic. So in our case, we find that these legacy brands that have come out with over-the-counter devices are often delivering the most quality, as opposed to brand new brands under new names that you've never heard of. Often the quality isn't there, and you also aren't sure if that brand or product will be around for the long haul. So our advice is typically to look at a narrower set of brands. There's still a nice range of prices available and styles, but take a look at one of those trusted brands, and typically you're going to be happier with the overall experience. So those are really our big 3. If you're in the early phases of your research, just make sure you test your hearing. You can do that for free at Soundly.com, or you can go to a local clinic, test your hearing there. Set the expectation and budget the time to set up your hearing aids, get used to them, work your way into wearing them more long-term, and choose a brand that's trusted and proven. If you can avoid these 3 mistakes, you're going to be in great shape as you purchase your first pair of over-the-counter hearing aids. Of course, if you have questions or you need support as you're going through this process, whether it's after your hearing test or as you're comparing brands, you can always get in touch with our team. We love talking to folks who are in the research phase of their process. Head over to Soundly.com. You'll see our phone number there. You can text or call us. You can also email us at any time. We hope this video has been helpful, and good luck with your research.